Good morning, everybody. Toby from Cabo Fishing Podcast here, and today we are at Cabo CrossFit. Christina's here. As everyone knows, Christina's part of Two Fishing Jigs and Christina Shepherd _PT on Instagram. And she is one of the people that I respect the most and listen to the most when it comes to fishing fitness. And last year we talked about it, especially after the East State tournament, where I felt that I was not physically prepared for some of the rigors of big game fishing. And I wanted to get more focused on the training aspect of it so that, under duress, you make better decisions, kind of like shooting. The more you focus and shoot under stress, the better you perform, the more consistent you are, and the more sustainability you have on the battlefield. In this case, we want to have sustainability on the fishing boat. And we want to hire success, right? We don't want failure due to physicalness, we want success due to hustleness.
And you definitely don't want to get hurt doing it either.
We don't want to get hurt.
Easier to prevent an injury than to fix it after it happens.
So we're going to do a couple of different exercises today. Christina's going to walk us through it, explain the importance of why you do these exercises and how it affects and relates to the fitness of catching the fish. So come with us today, watch this workout. Hopefully I don't look too fat. We'll have fun.
Let's go.
Yeah.
Welcome to the Cabo Fishing Podcast, your number one source for all things fishing in Cabo San Lucas. Brought to you by the collaborative efforts of Rancho del Pescador, Mar Vida, and Proyecto Pupila. We're here to bring you the best insider tips, tricks, and tales from the deep blue of Cabo. So sit back, relax, and let's dive into Cabo Fishing Podcast by Mar Vida.
All right, so we are starting off with some Romanian deadlifts. These are a fantastic full body movement. You're gonna be working your legs, your trunk, your grip, your arms, having to hold the weight. So what we're gonna do is you're going to take the bar. When we grip it, we're not gonna put the thumbs around the bar. We kind of want to mimic when you're fishing and you are not able to grip it because you're gonna have the line in the way, you're gonna have the reel. So we're actually gonna have the thumbs on the same side as the hands. I like to do a mixed grip on it. So you can have one, you can do it that way. Yes, exactly. And so it kind of gives you a little better grip advantage when you are doing those, okay? So we're gonna do that. You're going to lift it all the way up to the top. This move actually starts from this standing position. So before you even start lowering it down, think about keeping your core engaged. We are pulling that belly button in towards your back, but we're not just sucking it in to do it. We're using those muscles. I can pull mine in, I'm talking, I'm breathing, I'm holding it stable, all right?
I'm still holding.
Good, yeah.
Still holding.
Yeah, so then as we are lowering down, you want your back staying flat, you're letting your hips go back like you're shutting a drawer behind you, and you wanna keep that bar close to your body. We're going down until you feel tension in your glutes and your hamstrings and coming back up. When you come back up, I don't like to come all the way back up because I want to make those muscles keep working. We are keeping that tension the entire time as we are doing this and moving up and down, making sure to really, every time you go down, keeping that tummy pulled in, your back flat. These should not hurt your back in any way. If you want to start with just a PVC pipe or an empty bar. Start lighter than you think you need. When we're doing these, I would work in a higher rep range. So I'm not saying do these for a 1 rep max, never. No, this is not a PR. This is not 1, 3, even 5 reps. This is higher reps, 10 or more, because when you're fishing, those fish don't just magically get in the boat quickly.
Only when Chewy reels them.
Only when Chewy reels them. So it takes time to get the fish to the boat. You need to get used to that feeling of your muscles getting tired and you keep going.
So Romanian deadlifts, lower weight, higher volume.
Yes.
Minimum of 10 reps per set, and try to get 5 to 8 sets.
Yes.
Or is that too many?
You know, if you're doing a workout just for fishing, honestly, 5 sets is probably fine. 4 to 5 sets would be great.
5 sets?
Yeah.
What did you hear first? How was my form?
It was actually good.
All right.
Yeah, I liked it.
Just like the pulling the rod,
Yep.
start from the up position, push the drawer with my butt.
Yes,
Shave my legs
yes,
with the bar.
yes, exactly that. Let those hips go back every single time. And when you come up, you don't have to like you do this. You don't have to do that. Just come up and keep the tension. Like keep the tension in the back. You're really gonna feel it on your booty
And when we're
and the back of your
fishing, when
legs.
it's on everybody, keep the tension on the one.
You know,
Keep
you
the
really,
tension on the one.
and you want to keep the tension here too. Like we're working all of this. There you go.
All of it.
See how you're starting to shake on that?
Oh yeah. Getting weak, but getting strong. Next exercise.
All right.
All right, and we're back. The next exercise is to, help our core and our stability because we're on a moving vessel
And you're getting some bicep work.
and we're getting some biceps. So
Yeah.
what are we doing?
All right, so we're going to do bent alternating rows with these. It's actually the same hip hinge movement as that Romanian deadlift. So we are letting our hips go back, keeping our core engaged, holding your kettlebells, and every time you row up, we're gonna row one at a time towards that hip, bring it down, and then pulling up the other side as you're doing it. Really let those hips go back that's perfect. Let those hips go back behind you and pull that tummy in towards your spine the entire time. And I know a lot of people are really tempted to like do this motion and look at what you're doing in the mirror. Your head should be in line with your body. So we're not putting it all over the place. Should be general. It should be literally a straight line like from the back of your head to your booty in the back.
Look at that visual.
Yes.
Generally straight line.
And I like the alternating hinge forward, yes, and pull to the hip. And I like the alternating movement of it because you're forcing those core stabilizers to stabilize your trunk. When we're fishing, we're not fishing on this nice little flat surface that doesn't move. You're having to reel in the fish, fight the fish of varying sizes. The boat is moving, and also the waves are not constant. It's not a predictable pattern. They're gonna come from different directions. If a boat goes by, you have even more directions on the waves. So you really have to be good at being able to reel something in strong enough to do that and keep your core nice and tight as you're doing it.
For this exercise, how many repetitions and sets do you recommend? Like
So
similar to the deadlift?
I would do, honestly, on all of these, I would do very similar to the deadlifts. So I would do like that 4 to 5 sets and 10 reps or more. And when I say 10 reps, I mean like 10 per arm. So not 5 per arm, but 10 per arm on up.
So in addition to doing these rows, and we're talking about our core, you just talked about how the boat moves and the fish move, right?
Yep.
The fish
They're
absolutely
gonna go,
where they
absolutely.
wanna go.
They're gonna go side to side, up and down,
And
in
we're
and
on a
out.
slippery surface.
Yes.
It's moving and the waves are unpredictable. What's another exercise that you would recommend for us to use to keep our core and kind of help with our balance and like the stability on the boat?
Yes. One of my favorite ones is what I like to call a core march. So you're picking up that kettlebell, we're holding one kettlebell. We're holding it in front of you, all right? And then keeping your trunk, we're gonna move this one out of the way just for safety. Keeping, again, pulling that belly button and your trunk is nice and stable and you're marching one leg up and then lowering it down. And so you want to minimize the movement throughout your trunk because you're using those core stabilizers. This is not a quick movement at all. We are not rushing.
I feel like I'm doing a lot.
Yes, so like we're not rushing through the motion. And when you pull that hip up, we're not pulling it way up here to where you're getting that pelvic rotation. So pulling it up to just about 90 degrees is fine. Also really good because you're working your balance in the process as well, which is crucial when you're on a boat that is moving around. If you actually want to make that one harder after you've been doing it a while, you can hold the kettlebell in one arm. It's gonna make it a little harder because we're transferring that load to one side, forcing your core to work harder, and then you're gonna do the same thing. So when I say 10 reps on this, So when I say 10 reps on this, I mean 10 leg lifts per side. And then if we're doing it unilateral or one-sided, you're gonna have to do the same thing on the other side. We're not gonna work.
Opposing weight to leg.
No, you're going back and forth still. We're alternating those legs still. Yep, but it just makes it harder because you've transferred that load from the center of your body off to the side, making your core stabilizers work harder.
That makes sense. That's
Yeah.
logical, right?
Mm-hmm. And of course, I love anything that incorporates balance into this because boats are never flat and chill. Very rarely.
They are
Nearly never are you on a boat that's completely still as you're pulling in a fish. So,
Well, I appreciate that because, like, I've always struggled with balance issues and I've struggled with core issues. So, like, on the boat, I'm always like, and you're trying to make it look cool. You're trying to be as suave as possible, but it's like,
yeah, I'm always like, let me get to the sides.
toes digging.
Exactly.
All right, we're going to move on to a very specific exercise that is focused on rod and reel action. So we're going to move over and we're going to check that out. All right, well, you got me over here. What are we doing?
All right, so we're actually going to do a single arm row. This is a landmine setup. Some places have an attachment. If not, we're gonna stick it into the corner. But we're really focusing on when you're sitting in the chair, you have your rod and you're having to pull it up each time, one-handed. We're reeling on the way back down. So what I'm gonna have you do is just lifting it up. We're gonna do one arm and we're pulling it up and slowly lowering it back down. Now, when we're coming back up, this is not a forceful motion, okay? Because we're not yanking fish out of the water like this, okay? So as you're coming up, it's gonna definitely have to be a slow motion as we're coming up and lowering it back down. So we're controlling coming up and down the ascent and descent.
And making sure that our reeling arm is engaged.
Yeah, so you can pretend we're reeling with it.
Right.
Yeah.
This is a one-armed exercise.
This is a one-armed exercise. You're not getting to use.
Same grip.
Yes, same grip. So we want the thumb in line with the fingers. Keeping your back flat, your core engaged on this. And you know, in real life, you'd be sitting in a chair as you're doing this, but we are rowing it up. So you see how everything is shaking? Your back muscles are having to work as you're doing this.
This is really close to the actual exercise.
Yeah, pick a weight that's lighter than you think you need until you get the form down. Again, once we're writing it down, you can start progressing it.
Oh, I really feel this.
Yeah, absolutely.
This is very similar to the actual physical action of it.
Right.
It'd be cooler if I had a thicker bar,
It really would.
but
We'll make it work. Kind of make
but
it's not
still,
perfect.
I still feel the rest
exactly.
of the grip. I still feel the muscle. This is probably the closest exercise that we've done. The exercises that we did prior were really good for like form and strength and building
exactly.
blocks. This is like a really good exercise to mentally prepare.
Correct.
and to feel it.
And to simulate the feeling
And
while
then
you're in there.
to also understand, like, hey, if I'm feeling something here, I'm doing it wrong.
You're doing it wrong. Absolutely adjust. When we're reeling in fish, your back should not be hurting. Okay? You might have like that feeling of my muscles are working. Okay, that's all right. If we're feeling like the muscles along each side of your spine, if you're like, oh, they're working, that's okay. You should not be having sharp low back pain as you're doing it. Adjust your position, focus on your core to prevent that. Because once you start getting that sharp back pain, that's when you end up with injuries that puts you out of fishing, puts you out of life, really. The things you need to do and the things you want to do, you're not able to do. It's easier to prevent it than to fix it once it happens.
And there's some apparatuses on the market that were utilized for fishing in terms of like
Correct,
belts
the
and stuff like
strap.
that.
Yes.
But like, you should be physically and structurally correct enough
Yes.
so that you don't have to rely on that. Now you're going to need that because it's a 400, 500, 600,
Correct.
300.
Correct.
4 foot 4. Like,
Bigger is better for fish, always.
But like, we need to know that our foundation is correct
Is strong enough.
and not to rely on an apparatus to do it for
Right.
us. We should be able to be structurally strong enough
Yes.
to do it. And then the apparatus complements us as we get into the higher
Absolutely.
like denominations and size of fish.
And you need to have that body awareness to know what's happening.
Know your body, know
Yes.
your soul.
Exactly.
I didn't have any. She has all the cool clothes. So I just tried to make one. But let's do it one more time.
All right.
try to like position it as I would.
Yes, as though you're sitting into a chair. We're not using that right arm to do any of the work. You're just lowering it down and you're coming back up with it. Exactly.
All right, into the work space.
So this one, again, higher reps, higher sets. You should be feeling your bicep, your arm fatiguing as you're doing these, okay? If you're, I'm gonna bang this out and do 5 sets of it, and you're like, oh, so totally fine. That was not hard enough. It needs to be something heavy enough to feel the changes.
Well, I really was feeling the grip on that.
Yeah.
Especially like the accentuation of the weight, pulling the rod being pulled away from me. Let's go and do some of the grip exercises that you're telling me about to like help prepare us for that.
Let's go.
Let's go.
Ready. All right, we just finished the landmine rows. Now we are moving on to a farmer carry, which is a great move, focusing on core strength and grip. So you want to pick a kettlebell. The weight should feel challenging as you're lifting it. When we lift it up, we're not rounding our backs to get this up off the floor. Back stays nice and flat, and you're lifting it up like you would pick up a suitcase next to you. So we're just gonna grab it and lift it up. This is forcing your core to work. We're holding a load on one side of the body. The grip, we want your thumb in line with your fingers. We're not getting to use that grip when we're fishing.
On the
Yes, exactly, just like that. And then you are just simply walking with it, and the whole idea behind it is you're having to use your trunk stabilizers to keep your trunk up and down. We're not walking with it off to the side. You're nice and tall. You look very level. All right, and then we're just simply walking down. Yep.
It's my favorite exercise.
Yeah.
Like I'm smart enough to do it.
And then we're gonna switch that kettlebell to the other side. Switch it to the other hand.
Same
Yep.
lifting procedure.
Yes, sir. Because when you work one side of your body, we have to work the other side of the body.
Quality.
Equality, definitely that. And so this one, we did something shorter to keep it in frame, but typically I would say do a longer length of walking with it when you get
25 paces,
yes,
50 paces.
25, 50 paces, all of those are fantastic. Ideally, you want to pick something that's challenging. It's challenging your core, but you also want it to be challenging your grip. If you're doing it and it's a super light kettlebell and it feels incredibly easy, you're not gonna really get stronger from the exercise. In any exercise that you do, those last several reps should feel tough. You should be able to complete them with proper form, but they should be very challenging on those last several reps of any set you do.
And we want to finish.
Correct, you do want to finish.
We want to finish. Like I think we were fishing yesterday, and like that fish, we need to finish it.
It was a tough one.
Did not.
It did not want to come out of the water yesterday.
Yeah, I really felt when you were talking about challenge, I really felt like the pull.
Right.
Like on my hand, and that was one of the experiences I had, the Bisbees last year. I felt like now I'm like
Exhausted.
really, like even with jiu-jitsu and other things, like I felt like I'm really challenging my grip, and it was like pulling, and and that duress emotionally affects you, and then
Right.
it's like start thinking and questioning, like after like 45 minutes, 50 minutes,
How much
55
longer do we
minutes,
have to go?
like how much longer do I have to go? And like I really just in that short period of time felt like, okay, this is really gonna be
Yeah,
beneficial because
exactly.
it's gonna challenge me to emotionally remember, like,
And that is the biggest component of this as well. Of course, you have to make your muscles stronger, but you have to get to that point where you feel uncomfortable and keep going. When you're reeling in a fish, you can't just be like, okay, you guys, I'm tired. I think we're gonna take like a timeout, 5 to 10 minutes. I'm gonna sit down, have some water, and then we're gonna continue this. That's not an option.
Right.
So you have to get to that point where you feel uncomfortable. You don't wanna keep going, and you keep going, and you push past that. It makes you mentally tougher, which is a very important component of getting the job done.
like unlike hunting, where like
Right.
you can rest.
You can definitely rest.
You can
I
take
know.
breaks, and you can
Yeah,
settle yourself.
exactly.
Like we're on the animal,
Game on.
on the fish's timeline,
Correct.
not on our timeline.
Yes.
And so like,
And you
when
want to
it's
keep
over, it's over.
it's over, and you want to keep tension in the line, so you can't just be taking.
We're physically connected.
Yes, physically connected.
Physically connected.
You cannot just sit there, take a break, get slack in the line because you're gonna lose your fish.
No, you gotta lose.
That's not how it's done.
All right, these have been some really good exercises, and I really think the grip is an important part of this. What's something else that we can do with the grip that comprehensively helps the grip as well as our overall performance in this?
So dead hangs are actually fantastic for the grip. You're using your own body weight. We're not typically...
There's a lot here. We got a lot to work
Right. And you don't have to sit there and say, oh, I have to make it to 30 seconds. We're going to start with whatever you make it to. Okay. So maybe when you begin, set a timer for yourself. Is it 5 seconds?
Like a timer?
A timer, an actual timer. See what you can get to as you're doing it. Take note. Go further next time. And even what I like to do when I'm doing the dead hangs, do it, see how long you're able to do it. Sit and take a rest break. Give yourself several minutes and then go again. I like to do 2 sets of dead hangs at the end of the exercise. We're just finishing off your grip, fatiguing everything. Your arms are gonna be tired, your hands are probably gonna hurt, your forearms are definitely gonna be tired, your shoulders are gonna be tired. It's a great finisher at the end of your workout. Whatever gas is left in the tank, we're finishing it off on the dead hang.
So I kind of want to circle back to something you just said about 15 seconds ago about writing it down or documenting it.
Yes.
And that's such an important part.
It's very important of the entire thing.
And we have fish journals, right? Fish journals, Real Blue Custom Rod. John makes a great one if you're looking for one. But we journal everything in terms of fishing, so that we know, and we're documenting our memories, right?
Yes.
But part of the importance of documenting this stuff is so that we see progression, we see progress, and then we build confidence knowing
correct.
Oh, I have this amount of time for sure, no problem in the tank, and I've dealt with this before, and I've endured this, and anytime you face adversity, you overcome it, you build confidence from that, and emotionally you're stronger and better prepared to face a more arduous
Exactly.
And so I think that's important that we always document and track our progress. One, it builds you up, it spiritually builds
Right,
you
it
up.
does. And I always say, what gets measured gets managed. Okay? So if you're not writing it down, you don't know how many reps you made it last time. You don't know how much weight you used last time. You don't know if you're actually getting better. The entire goal in all of this is to be better than you were the day before, the week before, and I'm not saying you need to have massive improvements day to day, but I'm saying if we're looking at the line of progress, overall it's gonna be an upward line, all right? You're gonna have undulations along this line, but you should be getting better over time, week after week. You wanna see that you can do more reps, you can do more weight. It feels easier at that old weight. That's the goal in all of this. Your endurance is better.
What gets measured gets managed.
Gets managed, yes.
What gets measured gets managed.
Write it down, it matters. You don't even need something super fancy to write it down. You can go to the dollar store and grab a little blank journal. Literally, write down your exercises, write down the reps, write down the weight, the number of sets you do for each exercise in your workout, and then I like to say how I felt that day. Did that feel easy? Did I crush it? Was it maybe a day where you're dragging, it's not fantastic? Write it down so you know maybe how you felt, if anything was out of the ordinary. Sometimes if something feels terrible and I realize because I didn't sleep well the night before, I'll kind of put that in there. Felt bad, sleep was garbage the night before. I put that in there. So it matters.
I drink a beer with Kevin Fowler. I should probably be in better shape.
But here I am today instead. Yeah, so all that stuff matters.
So now we're gonna go do some dead hangs.
Yeah, cool.
I'm gonna see how long I can hang.
Okay.
Before we get the shaky shake.
Yeah, yeah.
Shaky shakes. Here we go. All right, so you brought me over here to my least favorite thing that takes me back to my Army days, pull-ups. But we're not doing an actual pull-up, we're just doing
Correct.
a dead hang.
A dead hang. We're hanging from the bar, working our grip strength, and really your entire upper body in the process. Okay.
So I'm not pulling up.
You're not pulling up.
I'm engaging.
You are engaging the muscles around your shoulder blade as we're doing it, but we're not pulling all the way up to the bar, like what you would traditionally see in a pull-up.
And
okay.
like one of the things about like hanging on a bar, now this is like your body weight. There's a lot of tension, a lot of duress on your hands.
It's not comfortable.
It's not comfortable. And this is like where repetition, builds calluses.
Exactly.
Builds strength in your hands so that when this moment happens and you tie into this fish, like you have the confidence and knowledge that you have what it takes.
Exactly.
And we talked about the journaling, and this is, again, we're doing this with repetition, but we're
failure.
also to failure.
To failure.
The repetition is
the time.
Every time that you do exercises, you should do this exercise.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
This should be a core finish to our program, right?
Yes. So this is the end. You're gonna, whatever gas is in the tank, we're gonna finish it off here. All right. We're gonna really exhaust your grip because we're going to failure. Failure on this is you're just going to step down. Okay. So you're not really injuring yourself as if you were lifting something heavy and going all the way to failure or past it. This one, you're just going to let go.
All right.
All right.
See.
So when you go up into that position, same grip. Yeah. So thumbs are in line with the hands. We are not leaving our shoulders loose as we are doing this. Okay. So I want you to really engage and pull down your shoulder blade as you're doing. Yes, exactly like that. And then you're just holding right there. So you see how much you're shaking, but that is absolutely what we want. And then you're just chilling here, all right?
I don't feel like I'm chilling.
You're not, because everything is working. Your hands are gonna hurt, your forearms are gonna be burning, your shoulders are shaking. So what I want you to do is actually record each time the amount of time you make it. There's no right or wrong answer in the beginning. Maybe you make it to 5 seconds, maybe you make it to 10 seconds. Write it down, because the next time I want you to go back and try to beat that time. The next day, whenever you are doing this workout again, which may not be the next day, might be a couple days later. You should give your body rest in between. But the next time you're attempting the dead hangs, you want to try to go longer than what you did before.
We obviously have been working out this
exactly,
morning, but I really felt that quickly. In fact, I'll be quite honest, I was surprised at how quick
it's a humbling move, and it requires, just a bar. You're moving the weight of your body, just letting it hang and holding it there. It's a really tough one, and I'd just like to finish off all the gas in the tank with this exercise.
I'm gonna do one more because I was like,
it's that good.
I was surprised.
Yeah, and typically, we talked in between, so I like to say, give yourself a couple minutes to rest in between. Engaging those shoulders is key, though. We do not want to just be letting our shoulder joint be loose and sagging down. So engaging the core is key. You're definitely shaking. Making it look easy, though, right?
No.
Making it look so easy.
There's nothing easy about that. But this is exactly what I'm talking about. Like, these are the things that
not comfortable.
And you have to build a confidence in these moments so that
it's not only strength, it's the mental toughness with it. Yeah.
Well, appreciate you coming in all the way down to Cabo CrossFit. Shout out to Cabo CrossFit for hosting us today. Great place to work out here locally when you're in town. But this is really crucial stuff. As we're getting into the competitive season, the tournaments are right around the corner. Things are getting serious. The big fish are starting to arrive. The best time to start is always now, right?
Now.
The hardest step is the first step. The hardest exercise is the first one. So let's get going. What'd you say? Measurement is management?
Yes. What gets measured gets managed. Start now.
And then we're gonna be done. And then when you get done working out, especially here, get yourself a little protein shake, because health, nutrition is a bigger part of fitness than people give credit for.
It really is. It's honestly, I think it's more so than the workout itself. You cannot come to the gym, do all these things, and then not fuel your body properly. And a lot of people leave out that component. And I know, for me, the older I get with each decade, you can't do what you did the decade before, nutrition-wise.
It's like a dessert.
It is like a dessert. It is a dessert. But you need to get protein, you need to get rest. Don't do this workout every day of the week. Don't do it back to back. Put a day in between, because it's actually those off days when your muscles are recovering, that's when they get stronger to continue doing them. Okay.
Well, I appreciate you taking the time. As always, as someone that we fish together quite a bit.
Yeah.
It's great to build these blocks together, because we want to do big things.
Right,
So
exactly.
thanks for tuning in. As always, you can follow us on the Instagram, the IG, as well as the YouTube, and look forward to a really cool announcement where you can watch us somewhere in the future real soon. So Christina, thanks for coming.
Thank you for having me.
Thanks
Cheers.
Cabo CrossFit for hosting us, and we will see y'all in about 14 days on the next episode. Finger gun.